514 cases of a significant caseload that we're now dealing with across Metro Melbourne and a few cases in regional Victoria. In addition to the 3 cases in Ballarat, and I'll talk a bit more about those in a moment, we have 7 further cases in regional Victoria. That makes 10 cases in regional Victoria in total. Those 7 are 4 cases in Mitchellshire, 1 in Murrindindi, and 2 in Geelong, Greater Geelong. All those cases are connected to existing known clusters. They're primary close contacts, and as such, we're confident that the current isolation protocols for those cases are sufficient. And of course, we continue to support those people in regional Victoria and encourage particularly people in Geelong, Murrindindi and Mitchellshire to continue to come forward to get tested if they have any symptoms whatsoever. In terms of the rest of the cases in Metro Melbourne, we obviously have a very similar geographic spread that we've seen over the last couple of weeks. So over 61% of the cases are in our northern suburbs. So 317 cases across suburbs, including Craigieburn, Roxburgh Park and Glenroy. Around a quarter of our new cases are in the western suburbs, including Truganina, Altona North and Deer Park. We have 46 cases in the southeast, in Dandenong, Keysborough and Clyde North, and that does represent now an significant increase in the southeastern suburbs where we're getting a little bit more concerned. And we have 14 cases in the eastern suburbs, including Doncaster and Donvale. There are 3 further cases we're just trying to nail down exactly where they are. We'll update those in the CHO release. In terms of the overall spread then of activity, we continue to see good work and good progress being made in the western suburbs. And my thanks to all the local teams working so hard across our GPs, primary health and of course Western Health. Some very, very hard work going on there, and we're seeing some good stabilisation of numbers in that area. Obviously significant growth continuing in the northern suburbs, a lot of focus on a number of different clusters of concern, still very concentrated in a number of key suburbs. And we're seeing an underlying growth within the southeast. So I particularly call out today, if you're in the southeastern suburbs, around Dandenong, around Keysborough, around Clyde North, if you've got any symptoms whatsoever, well, please just check those exposure sites. We really need to see people coming forward to get tested in that part of our city. We think we're starting to see some seeding out now, particularly from essential workers moving across the city, moving from the north and west into the southeast. And obviously, we're keen to stop it wherever we possibly can. In terms of Ballarat, I was able to get to Ballarat this morning and see the setting up of 3 additional sites today. 1 site yesterday, and there's another site being activated for tomorrow. So a significant testing drive going on with literally hundreds of people now working across Ballarat, from Ballarat Health, the City of Greater Ballarat Council, and of course colleagues from the Department of Health. And my thanks to all the local players there for getting together and putting a really swift response together to the emerging number of cases. We now have 6 active cases in total that we're aware of in Ballarat. Yesterday we reported 4 in total. That includes 1 further household contact of the original construction worker, 1 social contact of the construction worker, and that was a case I mentioned at the presser yesterday afternoon. But we also have 1 unlinked case, a new case not connected, we believe, to the cluster of 5 that we understand. This unlinked case has been infectious since last Tuesday and has had a number of exposures across Ballarat. They are in a different part of the city, and they may help us explain some of the wastewater detects we've been seeing over the last few days. More exposure sites will be coming on stream during the course of today. And again, well, of course, we'll be doing the work with him and his contacts to establish any other further exposures. I am expected to see some very busy testing in Ballarat over the next few days. Some long queues there already this morning. Well over 1,000 tests completed yesterday with the existing 3 sites that we had up and running. And my thanks to everybody who came forward yesterday to come and get tested. Today, we have set up additional sites at Victoria Park on Military Drive, and that will be open until 8 p.m. tonight. And there was a pretty healthy queue there this morning. We'll also have another, there's a walk-up site opened up this morning at the Ballarat Aquatics and Lifestyle Centre on Gillies Street. And there's another drive-through being built as we speak at the Ballarat Sporting Centre car park, and that'll be open at 4 p.m. tonight, and that'll be open till 8 p.m. tonight. And of course, will be open tomorrow and over the weekend. That's in addition to the existing sites we have in Ballarat, including the respiratory clinic on Dana Street, the Foresight drive-through on Skipton Street, and the drive-through site at the Marty Bush Reserve at the Sebastopol Footy Club. And again, my thanks to all the teams that are working so hard to get this done. I would urge, in terms of people in Ballarat, if you are symptomatic, please get tested at any one of those sites today. If you've been to those exposure sites or you've had a message from us that says you might be exposed, then please again come forward to get tested today. If neither of those categories apply to you, if you just want to get tested because you're a bit concerned or you want to just see what's going on, please hold off for a day or two. Let's get people to come through over the weekend to do that. I really want to get those who are symptomatic and most at risk to get tested today so we can establish quickly the size and scale of this outbreak. In terms of other activity sites, obviously we've spent a fair bit of time over the last couple of weeks talking about the Box Hill construction site. We have another one positive case from our day 13 testing. That takes us to 147 for the outbreak so far. But we are now starting to release the primary close contacts with that day 13 testing. So over 200 people released from their isolation around that construction site. And again, my thanks to them for isolating so well over the last few days. Obviously, we'll continue to work with those who continue to isolate. We also have more cases at the Fitzroy Community School. That's now up to 46 cases in total. A further 8 cases have come forward. And again, my thanks to the school community for isolating and locking down and doing all those COVID protocols that I'm afraid are so important at this point in time. But I'm pleased to confirm that no new cases so far at V-Line. We've now worked our way through all their primary close contacts. Of course, over 200 staff are still continuing to isolate, and also pleased to see some services returning. For those planning to travel on the V-Line network, please do check their website before you do so. Finally, of course, I'm pleased for all of us across Victoria with the welcome return to Shepparton into the network. We would ask people to please be very mindful of any symptoms that you get. Get tested as soon as you possibly can if you're at all concerned about your health, and please continue to check all those exposure sites. And finally, in terms of vaccination, in addition to the 10,000 additional Pfizer doses that we'll be deploying into the Ballarat area over the coming days and over the next couple of weeks, we have 360,000 people booked in for their vaccine appointments over the next 2 weeks. That is a fantastic result, and it's a really strong build on the 70% first dose vaccinations we've achieved already. We still have 34,000 open first dose Pfizer appointments available over the next 2 weeks across the state. Those doses are available today. Those appointments are available today. I'd urge people, please, if you're not part of the 70% that's been vaccinated yet, please come forward and get your vaccination done. There are also 18,000 first dose AstraZeneca appointments available, again, across our 55+ state clinics. With that, I'll hand back to the Premier.